Good morning. I'm Dr. Greg Olson. I'm the medical officer for Group 1. I'm also a physician who is an internist and an oncologist. So every day of my professional life, I dealt with patients who were immunosuppressed and had infections. I'd like to thank Major Christian for helping make this video. This morning we're going to talk about how to disinfect our aircraft or sanitize our aircraft and our vehicles after they've been used for mission-related sorties. We first are going to need to have supplies to do our sanitation. The first thing you're going to need are gloves. They do not have to be nitrile gloves unless you're latex allergic, or you can get them. They're difficult to find right now, so you have to think outside of the box. I bought these two disposable single-use packages at Home Depot yesterday. My wife found some gloves at a beauty supply store. I also found gloves at a paint store and at a lumber store because they use stains to stain the wood. So we have to think outside the box to look for our supplies. Then we're going to need a disinfecting solution. Isopropyl alcohol works well, although it's difficult to find at the moment. If you cannot find isopropyl alcohol, then household bleach diluted 1 to 10 works just as well as long as you let it dry. After your disinfectant solution, you may pour it into some kind of a spray bottle. This one is good because it's translucent and I can see the level that I have of spray left. Disinfecting or sanitizing our solutions onto a sanitizing vehicle, either paper towels. If you can't find paper towels, you could buy a disposable sponge. Either one will work just fine. Once you get your sanitizing material moist and wet with the sanitizing solution, we are going to show you what surfaces are high contact surfaces that need to be sanitized and how to do that. At the end, we will show you how to dispose of all the now contaminated material. We're now at the plane. We're going to start at the back of the plane. Having previously sanitized the headsets, we're going to move to the back seat and sanitize all common, frequent touched areas, such as seatbelt buckles, seatbelt buckling place, where the jacks for the headsets go, around the window for aerial photography if that's been used, the window sills, and the armrests. Then we're going to move to the front seat, and once again, frequently wetting our cleaning towel or sponge. We're going to wipe down the buckles for the front seat and the receptacles. Particularly remember the levers that move the chairs forward and backward. We're going to then sanitize the yoke with its buttons on both sides. We're going to then change towels, and now we're going to sanitize around the windows, around the door handles, around the door frame where one would touch to get in and out, and the covering of the front, which would be essentially a dashboard on a car. Changing towels again, now we're going to be careful and we're going to sanitize all the buttons that are commonly touched during flight on the front panels, remembering that the LCD screens and any LED screens are sensitive, so we do not want any solution to touch them. So we spray down near the floor. We use our wet cloth and wipe down all of those surfaces carefully, avoiding any screens. After having completed that, then we're going to lock up the plane. So we have to place everything that goes in the plane inside, shut the door with our wetted towel, wipe the surface where we used to get into the door. Having closed the back port, the right side door, the left side door, and locking the plane, we're now going to climb on top and sterilize or sanitize the fuel caps, followed by the oil dipstick cap. And finally, we're going to sanitize our key and the box that it goes in, putting it into the box, sanitizing every surface that we have just touched to lock the box, and sanitizing the outside of that box. Now that we have cleaned the inner and outer surfaces of the plane, I'm going to ball up. This is how to remove gloves that are potentially contaminated with coronaviruses, so you don't contaminate yourself. I'm going to ball up any material I have, the cleaning material, in my hand. The mnemonic is glove to glove, skin to skin. So I grab the glove part to glove part, on the palm of my hand. I've got my wadded material here, and I pull it over my hand, sliding my fingers out slowly. This has not been contaminated, my hand. So I put skin to skin and slide it under the glove, then pull this glove off and over the other glove, bending my fingers a little bit so that it will come off slowly, and drop it into my bag. You will remember that when we cleaned the headsets that are for common use, we took the muff cover off and have saved it. We have sterilized or sanitized this and let it dry. We are now going to shift gears. We're now a new crew that's coming on for another sortie. The first thing that new crew is going to do is to make a muff cover so we don't pick up the wind in the plane. This has been sanitized and left, so it's clean for us. Options. Get a 2x2 gauze pad that you can buy at any pharmacy still. Fold it over the mic on the end of the boom, and either put a rubber band or a piece of string to tie it on. It only has to stay on for the duration of your sortie. So it doesn't have to be beautiful or perfect. Another option would be to get a piece of felt or fleece, about a 2x3 piece, put it over and around, and fold it back, and once again tie it or put a rubber band around it, and it will last for your sortie. At the end of your sortie, you take this off as you're sterilizing the equipment and put it in your plastic disposable container. You then sterilize this, it's ready for the next crew. Now, why are we going through all of this? No one knows for sure how long the coronavirus can last on a surface such as plastic or glass or metal. There's only one study to date, and it has not been peer-reviewed and published. That study suggested that if a coronavirus is viable or infectious for at least 3 days. If this coronavirus behaves like its cousins, the SARS virus and the MERS virus, those viruses could last for up to 9 days on plastic, glass, or metal. That is why we're sanitizing everything in high contact areas after we finish a sortie, so we don't potentially infect the next crew, be it an air crew or a vehicle crew. We're now going to sanitize a vehicle used on a sortie. We're once again going to start in the back, sanitizing the seatbelt buckles and the seatbelt buckle receptacles and any non-cloth covered area. Remembering to sanitize the areas of the doors that people will use to get in and out of the vehicle. Moving from the back seat to the front seat, we will do the same with buckles and non-cloth areas, particularly around the doors, the door handles. We will then change and get a new wetted cloth, cover the dashboard area, and then the instrumentation that's in the vehicle, cheese block, or any other instrumentation, including radios, avoiding, once again, the screens. being careful to change frequently the cloths and wet frequently the paper towels or cloths or sponge. We will sterilize the instrumentation, any buttons that would be touched, as well as the steering wheel. Once having done that, we will then move to the outside, sterilize the door where people touch to get in and out, shut the door with our cloth, sterilize or sanitize the handle to open the doors. Then we will move to the back, once again, sanitizing the key and the box that it goes in, lock the box, sanitize the front where we just touched, and then after having done all of that, we will once again remove our gloves with glove to glove and skin to skin technique and dispose of them. Major Christian and I hope that these little videos have been helpful in understanding how to sanitize the commonly touched surfaces in our assets, vehicles, and aircraft. We need to keep them clean and safe such that we can respond quickly to any needs that arise that we're called on to fulfill. We want the assets to be ready. We want you to be safe. We want to keep our families safe. So please take care of yourself. Follow the CDC guidelines, these little videos to help keep our assets safe. And remember that we will all get through this together.